half feet tall. They all have various things in common. One of them you would actually see straight away if you tried to pick one of these penguins up. They're actually very, very heavy, much heavier than they look, and that's because they've got these very dense and very heavy bones. That means they're sort of heavy enough to sink down underneath the surface of the water in order to catch the fish they need. In contrast, a flying bird will have very sort of thin, light, honeycomb-shaped bones, and that means they're obviously light enough in order to take off and to fly. So that's one of the first sort of most important differences between penguins and the flying birds. Another one is their wings. You can see these guys here have these sort of short, stubby, sort of flat wings. They actually look more like a pair of flippers, which of course is exactly how they use them. They use them to sort of propel themselves very, very quickly, very, very nimbly through the water. But in doing so, they've become absolutely useless for flight of any kind. So if you compare them again to a flying bird, you'd see the flying birds have a much greater wingspan, they have long flight feathers, generally have a much bigger surface area on their wing that actually allows them to soar and to glide and to flap and to sort of generally fly about in the air, which is something the penguins have long, long since lost the ability to do. And then one final thing that the penguins all have in common, and it's something they share actually with a lot of sea creatures, things like orcas in particular, but also other seabirds, things like puffins, and some dolphins as well. What they have is this white underbelly and the black back, and it's one of the most noticeable things about penguins. It's known as countershading, and essentially it works as a form